how quickly the world is waking up to the profligate debt and deficit spending by the United States of America, the rampant printing of money, the use of that money to build the largest military on the face of the planet, but now threatening to deploy that military against our own allies, particularly in NATO. It's insane. It's insane. It makes you wonder if Trump's job was to go to the WEF and engage in a little bit of WWF, wrestling, fake wrestling, and just portray this lunatic character, because he admits that he's a dictator. He admits that Operation Warp Speed was a military operation, which we have been saying now for well over 3 years, thanks to the reporting and the research of Sasha Latipova, Debbie Lerman, and Catherine Watt. This is now established, and Trump admitted it in the Q&A over at Davos. He's also, it's just insane. It's absolutely insane. I cannot even with this guy. So we have some video of that. I'd love to hear what you guys think about all of that. I see you on the live chat. And of course, as you know, he's tacoing on the world stage. He's deploying the Gestapo, ICE agents terrorizing U.S. citizens, Marines, veterans, and women and children. There is now, and this was reported by Fox News and the AP, illegal search and seizure by ICE. And the videos are horrifying. I have 3 of them. We're going to play them today for Brett Miller because he's a veteran and also a comms expert. He's the CEO of Galileo, and he's going to be coming in at the top of the hour, about 12:50, to discuss what's going down in ICE. Absolutely outrageous. This is illegal, immoral, unconstitutional, and insane what these agents are doing to citizens in Minnesota. And I know they're left leaning. I know they have purple hair. Yeah, they probably voted for Kamala. That doesn't mean that the United States government, through ICE agents, can act like Nazis and deploy a military police state to harass and abuse citizens, shooting them in the face, spraying them with pepper spray and tear gas, beating them in the streets, dragging them out of their cars, detaining them illegally, and then dumping them in parks and in forests. Like, it's insane. Ripping children away from their mothers as they weep and plead for their lives. These are U.S. citizens, legal immigrants, veterans. It's insane. And I'm sure there are videos of protesters and leftists who are protesting the ICE actions and maybe getting violent or doing this or that. But I will tell you, in situations like these, I am going to err on the side of the people with cameras as opposed to the people with guns who are behaving like Nazi brown shirts, period. We have all the videos. They're insane. And conservative Christian constitutionalists are cheering this on. We're in la la land. Call me Alice. I am down the rabbit hole, white knuckled on this roller coaster ride along with all of you. Like, this is crazy. We're in crazy town. CJP Rumble likes the scarf. It's so cold today. It's absolutely freezing. And I kind of like it too. I wasn't going to wear it, but Annie and I were, pre-showing and prepping. And she's like, oh, that scarf, I was going to take it off. She said, oh, the scarf looks good. Faux News promotes every single PSYOP. I agree with you, Mark the Regan. So we're going to chat with Brett Miller. Also, a massive storm incoming. We're used to the storms up here in New York State. We get 6 inches, 12 inches, 18 inches below, 0 temperatures, below 15 wind chills. Like, we're used to all of this. I'm actually kind of enjoying this winter because it feels like winter. We had these past 3 years, we've had these weird, sloppy, warm, like rainy, icy rain, just disgusting winters. I like a little snow cover. If it's going to be cold, I want to see the pretty snow. And so I'm not against it up here in New York. But they are not prepared for this down south. And it looks like it's going to be hitting some southern states. So we're going to be talking about that with Brett as well, because he is also with the satellite phone store, sat123.com/joy. If you don't have a generator, if you don't have all of your prepper items, this is your one-stop shop for everything you need to prepare for anything, whether it's a storm, an economic meltdown, a financial crisis, alien invasion, zombie apocalypse. You never know what's going to happen these days and when the next psyop is going to be deployed. And sometimes it's a psyop, but there are really things happening. So yes, Mark the Regan, gird up your loins. Do you know where that saying came from, by the way? It came from ancient times, like I think Roman times or biblical times, when the standing army was basically the lay people. So the shepherds and, regular Joe Schmoes. And the kings or whoever would say, hey, we're going to war with so and so, gird up your loins. And so they wore those long robes back then. And so they would tie up their robes around their loins like a diaper, like a big manly diaper with their legs sticking out. And that way they could like run and bob and weave and fight and wield their weapons. And that is what it means to gird up your loin. That's where it comes from, Mark the Regan. And yeah, we should all be girding up in a variety of ways, spiritually, financially, physically, preparation is the name of the game in 2026 because you do not know what they are going to deploy against us. And it's interesting to me that as the United States of America loses their standing in the world, right? It's even questionable if we will be able to deploy our military if we're in the midst of a massive financial crisis, which is happening because even though Donald Trump got a standing ovation over at the WEF in Davos, which was clearly scripted, in my opinion, right? On the back end, on the DL, Denmark and China and other European nations that are supposed to be our allies are dumping US treasuries and they're dumping our dollar and they're exacerbating the situation here in the US because we are losing our status as the world reserve currency. This is why you're seeing massive exponential growths in gold and silver. Now, if you've been listening to this show for the past 10 years, we have been advocating and encouraging the audience to, in any way, shape, or form, hedge their retirement, their savings with gold and silver, physical gold and silver IRAs. Peter Schiff has T-Gold now over at schiffgold.com/joy, you name it. But this is just the beginning, right? If you think gold and silver is high now, just wait. Because as this descends, and Peter Schiff says that it's probably going to be, it's accelerating very quickly as I speak to you today, but that this is probably going to be a 1 or 2 year cycle before we have full emancipation from the world, from the US dollar and dollar dominance. And in that time, you have the opportunity to, people in the United States of America are like, have their heads, we are so propagandized that no one's picked up to this in the US yet, right? Like we're not the ones buying all the gold and silver. It's mostly international. But there is a lot of room for it to grow, so it isn't too late. But in every way, shape, or form, we need to be preparing, because the more Americans who are prepared and ready to resist and say, oh, hell no, to a digital ID and a digital currency and the digital police surveillance state, the more of us who are out there organized and healthy and not afraid, the better. Because, it's going to be really difficult for these asshats in Washington, D.C. to shut down and destroy the entire nation of the United States of America and plunder all the money and get away with it. People are waking up to it right now. And so that's amazing. So the culture is moving. Here in the US, we're so propagandized by left and right-wing news media that most Americans are not getting good information. You have to seek out independent sources like the Shannon Joy Show and like Peter Schiff and like Catherine Austin Fitz and all of the people that we host here on the SJ Show. And we have guests. I host guests at least 3 times a week, sometimes 4 times a week. And so our mission is to not be afraid, to not fall for the psyops, to be super prepared, and to be ready to help our neighbors and get engaged locally. And I will say, I'm very proud of the people. I know they're liberal Democrats. They were probably cheering when I got arrested at a school board meeting for my mask falling beneath my nose. They were the people who were in the meeting who were clapping and applauding, right? Because the left, or at least factions of the left, the radicalized left, they love a good dictator as long as it's their dictator. They had nothing to say when Biden was arresting people, detaining them illegally in the DC gulag. They had no problem when he was force vaccinating people, coerce vaccinating people. They thought it was great. Those are probably the same people who are protesting in Minneapolis, I understand. But as irritating as that is, we still must maintain consistency. And I will be consistent, right? What this administration is doing is outrageous. It's unconstitutional, it's immoral, and it's illegal, as was the actions of President Biden in the 4 years when he was deploying the military Operation Warp Speed. Yes, Futurez, parents were labeled domestic terrorists. So just imagine, what they're doing in Minnesota, ICE agents. Just pretend in your mind, if you're a conservative constitutionalist or, a right-wing yapper like Glenn Beck or Steve Bannon or Sean Hannity, all right? Just pretend, right, that in 2 years, a Democrat gets elected to the office of the United States presidency. And the Democrat labels parents who oppose the LGBTQ indoctrination in their child's school, right? They label them domestic terrorists and send the SWAT team and the Gestapo and ICE agents or whoever to your house to arrest you and search your house for any type of wrong think or items that would go against the narrative of a liberal Democrat or a liberal Democrat president. Like, just why don't you do that? Think about that scenario and then think about what you would say and then apply that to the situation today. And maybe you might be able to figure out what the hell is going on in this country. We have cult worshipers and idiots and morons. Some of them aren't even idiots and morons. They're just reading scripts. It's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy. This is what, by the way, let's say hello to everyone. Welcome to the Shannon Joy Show. We're broadcasting, obviously, live from Rumble. We're live on the Twit. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, Substack. The live chat is looking lively today here on Rumble. And if you're on Substack or Facebook or the Twitter, make sure you say hello and leave comments. Annie is producing the show today. She's checking out all of the live feeds on all of our live platforms, and I would love to hear from all of you. So go ahead, make those comments. I'll read them on air. And let's go to the live chat here on Rumble and say hello to all of you. We have Futurez, the very first live chatter today. Good morning, Futurez. Glad to see you here. All Prozac, love seeing you on the live chat on Rumble. Good morning, formerly from Canandaigua, New York. Well, Canandaigua, New York is a neighbor, All Prozac, about 15 minutes from where I live. So I love Canandaigua, one of the most beautiful lakes in the country. Absolutely gorgeous. Be My Valentine is with us today. We have, of course, CJP Rumble, loving the scarf today. Thank you, CJP. Lou Melancom is with us. Batten down the hatches, gird up your loins. Absolutely. Who else do we have here? Mr. Worthless Eater. I can't read that comment, Mr. Worthless. Come on now. You guys have to keep it G-rated on the live chat if you want me to read it. Futurez, you look great. Yeah. Opossum King, great to see you as well. If you guys are on the live chat or you're watching the SJ show on Rumble, jump in. The water's warm. If you haven't said hello on the live chat, I love to welcome new chatters and see all the new chatters. So your comments will get preference. So if you say hi, I'm going to read it. And I just love to see all of those new names. Mod Trend, great to see you. And Be My Valentine, great to see you. Who else do we have here? Yeah, you all look great. Mark the Regan. Trump is hilarious. I give him that. It's just not real. I don't buy this. I wonder, I really do. I wonder if Trump is really just reading the scripts or playing the part, a little bit of WWF wrestling. I mean, that's how he got started. Let's be honest. Trump is a reality TV actor. That's basically what he is. Not the greatest business person, doesn't know much about economics. Um, Personally, people who think I mean, he is a wannabe dictator, a petty dictator. People who are super afraid of him, I mean, I don't really think it's him. I think he's handled. I think he was put in the position of the presidency to do something to achieve a goal for his handlers. And it just might be to crater the US economy and hand the United States over to the new global world order or completely diminish our role and pave the way for the BRICS, the rise of the East, or, no longer a bipolar world economy, but I'm sorry, not no longer a unipolar world economy, one reserve currency with us in charge to maybe a bipolar or a multipolar. I mean, because do you think that it's like a mistake? Do you think it's like, I don't know, just happenstance that we're about to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the United States of America, and like everything here is aligning 100% with Agenda 2030, which also aligned with Agenda 21. Like all of it, like this is all scripted out. So people who are just so deceived by Trump, all of these Trump derangement syndrome, MAGA, I don't know, cult worshipers, they just don't get it. They don't get it. This is what Patriot Voice had to say about Donald Trump in Davos, Switzerland. And the Patriot Voice, by the way, is a great follow on the twit. His handle is at TPV_John. And he shares some of the stuff. I don't know if he does long format. I don't know if he has the show, but I find myself retweeting a lot of what he's putting out on a regular basis. So you could call him a source for the SJ show. And I really liked what he had to say here. He wrote this just yesterday, day before yesterday. Let me make this abundantly clear. And I think that this has proven to be true given the circus sideshow that we saw yesterday with Donald Trump. He wrote this: Trump would not be invited personally by BlackRock CEO Larry Fink as the keynote speaker or a keynote speaker at the World Economic Forum in Davos if he wasn't all in. I repeat, all in 100% on their agenda, which is the Going Direct Reset, the Great Reset, Agenda 2030, and the new global world order, which they would like to be, I think, a technocratic police state, a massive surveillance state. And we did see Larry Fink, CEO of BlackRock, say yesterday at the World Economic Forum that they want to move to a single unified system, a digital currency that is controlled by very few people, that every nation, every citizen, everyone, this would be the new dollar, okay, so to speak, the new global currency. And he also advocated for tokenizing everything, probably even human beings. So tokenization means they apply a digital ID, profile, or value to every physical item in the world. Every square inch of land, every animal, every tree, probably the air, the water, and yes, human beings. I guarantee they will apply a value and a digital ID and a number to each and every one of you and your children. And it will be the 21st century version of mass human slavery, because when they can surveil you, tag you, and control you, you are by default a slave. So this is what we're fighting against. And I agree with the Patriot Voice at TPV_John that Trump is all in on their agenda. and he's playing some bizarro villain role as a little bit of WWF at WEF. That's my analysis on this. He goes on to say, this is common sense. You do not get invited as a keynote speaker anywhere unless you are the guest of honor. Okay. And that's why Donald Trump got his little standing ovation, a little bit of theater for all of us, right? While on the back end, as I mentioned in my intro, the entire world is dumping the dollar. Peter Schiff said yesterday on his show, his analysis, the dollar is over. It's over. Okay. He goes, it's totally ludicrous to assume that Trump and his administration would get access to the WEF just to berate them and take them down. But that's what Steve Bannon is saying. That's what Glenn Beck, is once again, what is up with conservative grown ass men like Glenn Beck and Tucker Carlson referring to Trump as their daddy or as Big Daddy? Like, it's so weird and bizarre, borderline homoerotic, and I don't get it. But Glenn Beck posts out yesterday, Big Daddy is here, or Daddy's in the house, or something like so cringy. And they're like, oh, he's so big and bad. And, Tucker Carlson, like Daddy's home and he's going to give everyone a spanking. It was so weird. So weird. Strident Conservative, I see you on the live chat. Great resource for the Shannon Joy Show. I documented Trump's involvement with the WEF years ago. Of course, MAGA rejected it. Thank you for linking that on here, Strident Conservative. Strident, we've been saying this for 10 years. I mean, I'm sorry I'm right about everything. I can't help it that I am right about everything. And Mark Levin is wrong, and Glenn Beck is wrong, and Sean Hannity is wrong, and all the smartest guys in conservative media. They're all wrong. And it's me. I don't even have a staff, except for the amazing Inez Annie Cyrus, who's brilliant, who produces the show every day. She's not even on staff, right? We contract. But it's like these people have teams of editors and researchers and assistants and all of the things. And they can't get this right. They can't figure this out when it's right in front of your face. I cannot even with this. TPV _ John, the Patriot Voice, goes on to say this. Like Klaus Schwab said here, we penetrate the cabinets. That's a quote. And if you look at many of the people that Trump has aligned himself with, both in and out of the administration, they are deeply embedded with the WEF. Duh. Anyone with a brain can see this. And when, cabinets, that would be Trump's administration. If Trump was really serious about bypassing the WEF and their agenda, he would simply ignore them and pretend they didn't exist. But no, instead, he pals around with many current members of WEF, invites them to taxpayer-funded dinners at the White House, and is invited as a keynote speaker to announce his board of peace, which also has many WEF members. Just a few examples: Peter Thiel and Alex Karp from Palantir, as well as Tony Blair, Bill Gates, Albert Bourla of Pfizer, Sam Altman, Larry Ellison, and of course his best buddy, Larry Fink from BlackRock, who is his close long-term personal financial advisor and attached to the hip of Donald Trump. Okay? Who is now, by the way, running WEF. So this is just ridiculous. Oh, by the way, so is Maria Corina Machado, who just gave him her Nobel Peace Prize so that she can lead Venezuela. Trump could literally say in his speech that he wished a drone strike would hit Davos and it would just be theater. It's all theater. It's not real. Any contention you see happening there is 100% theater. Kabuki theater. It's Shakespearean, all the world's a stage, and it's obviously a rebranding of the Great Reset. So now, because it's Trump's Davos and Trump's WEF and Trump's Peace Board, well, we all love it. We love globalism now, right? Because we're conservative constitutionalists and we're America first. They're so pathetic. Pathetic. I'm sorry, I can't keep it in today. It's all just so dumb. Ivanka Trump is a longtime member of the WEF, you morons. Scott Bannon and Glenn Beck and Sean Hannity and all of the morons who follow you. I can't even. It's just crazy. These people are nuts. They're nuts. Thank you to the Patriot Voice. I wholeheartedly agree with you. And as I mentioned, he is a great follow on Twitter. His handle is at TPV_John. From Substack, American Voice, with a comment. If a businessman has experience with corporate bankruptcy and liquidation, as does the current president, would it not be unexpected for the current president to position the last phase of insolvency of the United States of America as a giant corporation going into bankruptcy and then reorganization? Most know the US is literally a corporate entity. Also, hello, my first time here. Thank you, Shannon. It's a Shannon. Absolutely brilliant comment. By the way, the Shannon Joy audience is the most brilliant, most awesome, most honest, consistent, independent audience in all of social media and broadcast, bar none. And you are absolutely right. American Voice Substack. If you want to get into the nitty gritty of how Donald Trump and his corporate predators, and they are predators, are absolutely plundering the United States of America, your 401k, your Roth IRA, your future as a homeowner, collapsing your dollar, totally screwing you, I would highly recommend you follow three people. First, Catherine Austin Fitz on Twitter. She's at Solari. And follow and support the Solari Report. It is well worth the $7 a month that I pay to be a subscriber there. It is the best sourced information with the best experts on all of the financials. That's over at the Solari Report. Also, Tiffany Cianche, she is the Vino Mom on Twitter. And JG Nuke, that is Jack Gamble. That's JG_Nuke on Twitter and also on YouTube. Jack Gamble does a daily 40-minute market overview, and he's nailing it. He's becoming a regular source for the Shannon Joy Show. Highly suggest you follow him on Twitter. And then, of course, Peter Schiff. They will all corroborate exactly what you said there, American Voice Substack, that Trump is walking us through. He is ushering us through the bankruptcy of the United States of America and positioning himself and his cronies on the global stage to take everything. They will be protected. You will be screwed. And all of your favorite conservative, constitutionalist, free market, Second Amendment commentators on social media and also broadcast are completely lying to you. Completely lying to you. They're so disgusting. They lie so easily. It's just horrifying for me to watch. It's horrifying. Do not obey. I see you on the live chat here on Rumble. It's great to see you. By the way, if you're watching on Rumble, please give us a thumbs up. If you haven't done that yet, give the show a thumbs up and follow the Shannon Joy Show right now so that you never, ever miss an episode. You can also follow me on my Twitter handle at Shannon Joy Radio. Please follow and subscribe on Substack and on YouTube if you're watching right now. Every time you engage, whether it's a comment, it's on the live chat, or you just give the show a like or a follow, it helps us with those algorithms. Again, when you are outside of the two-party political pipeline to money, the left and the right, you got to do things independently. And it's much, much harder. It's much harder to get advertisers and retain them. It's harder to get algorithmic preference on all of these platforms. Everything is more difficult. I do that on purpose so that I can stay independent. But everything that you guys do as an audience helps to keep this independent show solvent and growing in a really healthy and organic way. So you guys all know the drill. If you want to support the Shannon Joy Show, you can do that through Substack and Rumble. You can send tips, you can send contributions. You can also go to theshannonjoy.com, which is my website, and you can contribute directly. But even more important than that, take care of our advertisers. We are so thankful for Peter Schiff over at Schiff Gold coming on. The Shannon Joy Show is the very first show that he has ever sponsored. And I am the very first spokesperson that he has ever partnered with, which is so exciting for me because I could not pick a better partner and a better company to send my audience to for everything that you need, from investment advice to gold-backed IRA or 401k, or even purchasing physical gold and silver. You can do all of that on Peter's website, shiftgold.com/joy. And make sure you use that URL so that they know we sent you. Also, our friends over at the Satellite Phone Store, as you know, big storm coming. We're going to bring Brett Miller in just a moment. He's the CEO of Galileo. We're going to be talking to him about the ICE abuses on the ground in Minnesota, the illegal searches and seizures, and the abuse of American citizens and legal immigrants under the guise of reining in illegal immigration. It's outrageous. Brett's an expert on these matters and communications, and also works with the Satellite Phone Store. So we're going to be talking about the big storm that is going to be hitting the United States of America in the next couple days as well. So we're going to go through those videos, but really appreciate all of you. Yes, the audience loves Brett. I know y'all love Brett Miller. He's the best. He's the best. See, I'm 1968. I see you. We just have to run these guys out of Washington, D.C., or like omit them. We need to take back America and not even bother with what they're doing in Washington, D.C. I think it's going to be the only way. But America's Voice Substack, really appreciate your comment on Substack. And those of you on Substack who are supporting the Shannon Joy Show, subscribing and becoming paid subscribers, thank you so much. We are up to 9 subscribers on Substack, which I'm so excited about. And I think we're almost to 1,000, or 9 paid subscribers and almost 1,000 subscribers in just 2 weeks. I mean, I've never even paid attention to Substack, really. I've had the Substack, but just recently we're using it more. And wow, it's a beautiful, elegant platform. And I'm excited about growth there. So if you're on Substack, please share the show. Please subscribe. If you think the show is valuable, please consider becoming a paid subscriber. All right. With that being said, let's go to break. Let's take a quick break, and then we're going to bring into the Joy Virtual Studio our guest, Brett Miller. He is the CEO of Galileo. We're going to talk about this new source, AP and Fox News. A new internal ICE memo is now confirming that agents are now authorized via memo to forcibly enter private residences using only administrative warrants signed by immigration officials, not judges. Okay, so this is now via memo. They are violating the Constitution of the United States of America, the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, and perhaps the 14th Amendment as well. This is illegal. I don't care what your conservative, talk radio host is saying to you. This is outrageous. And we're going to look at some of the most outrageous videos. And then we're going to talk about this guy, Greg Bovino, who is strutting around like a Nazi German brown shirt. There's a picture of him right there. This guy is strutting through Target, through Walmart with a posse of ICE agents spraying pepper spray in people's faces and like tackling women and just being a general menace to the people of Minnesota. It's no wonder. I know they're liberal Democrats, but it's no wonder they're labeling them Nazis. This guy, and I guarantee this guy is some kind of psyop, because he's just enjoying this way too much. And he's even stealing my look. I mean, this is my scarf look, and he is, he likes to flaunt his scarf, which I don't even know. We'll talk to Brett about that as well. But we're going to bring him in just a moment. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. Thank you for being with us today. Keep it tuned right here. We'll be back in a minute. I am so proud to be working with Peter Schiff and Schiff Gold in 2026. There is no one that I would trust more to send this audience to in terms of a metals strategy. Whether it's your gold and silver physically that you purchase and keep in your home or in a safety deposit box, gold and silver in an IRA, which you can do through Schiff Gold, or even investing in gold mining stocks, which Peter Schiff and his team can also help you with. It is time to get that metals strategy in place. Right now, silver and gold are soaring. Silver is approaching $85 an ounce, while gold is up over 45 an ounce. And people don't see this stopping anytime soon. I know it seems expensive to you, but I don't know that there is a cap to this in the near future. So you can get started now. I want to encourage you guys right now to go to shiftgold.com/joy. That is shiftgold.com/joy. Everything that you need, Peter's analysis, market reports, research reports. You can get plugged into his investment services, physical gold and silver, which we're going to be talking about this month, and also protecting your retirement with a gold or silver IRA. It's all right there at your fingertips on my page, shiftgold.com/joy. Hey everyone, I just want to take a moment to thank one of my longtime friends, associates, my financial advisor, and a beloved sponsor of the Shannon Joy Show, Don Polano over at PCM and Associates. Don Polano, as many of you know, was the very first Shannon Joy Show advertiser almost 12 years ago, and he's been with us ever since. I trust Don Polano. He manages some of my assets and my retirement fund, and he's offering his services to all of you. He can take clients anywhere in the country and even across the globe over at PCM and Associates. And as you guys know, it is so important today. There's so much volatility and chaos. You need a human being, a person that you trust, and a person that shares your values. And that's Don Polano at PCM and Associates. So if you are looking for someone to help you manage your retirement or have investment advice, please consider calling Don Polano over at PCM and Associates. His number, 1-800-536-1368. That's 1-800-536-1368. And of course, you can go to PCMPolano.com. That is PCMPolano.com to learn about all of his services and get in contact with his team. Again, so thankful for Don Polano at PCM and Associates. And I think that you are really going to appreciate his services. So that number again, 1-800-536-1368 for a financial advisor that you can trust. Welcome back, everyone, to the Shannon Joy Show. We are joined now by special guest and regular contributor on the Shannon Joy Show, Brett Miller. He is the CEO of Galileo and represents one of our amazing sponsors, Satellite Phone Store. We so appreciate your analysis and everything that you do, Brett. How are you doing?
Oh, just watching the world burn, just disappointed as always in our leaders, and just wondering what's happening. So how are you?
Well, I'm great. Annoyed, irritated.
Yeah.
There's no analysis that happens here. Like anyone with a brain
Right.
and eyes and ears, there's no analyzing what these lunatics are doing in Washington, D.C. or even at Davos, right? It's all theater. It's none of it is real. And, filtering through all of the lies is really the challenge. Don't
sorry,
do that.
Just want to show my allegiance to
I was going to say, someone's going to get that picture of you.
I know,
and
they
then
are.
Now they're going to use it.
"She's
And forevermore, you're going to lose all of your bona fides as a legit outsider. So let's start with Davos. We are going to talk about ICE in Minnesota. I have three videos that are absolutely outrageous, and I want to get your thoughts on this. Greg Bovino.
Yeah.
Okay. I bet he's 5'2". I bet I could put him in my pocket.
Oh, he is.
All right.
He's
This
tiny.
guy, I bet he's tiny. That they need to get sociopaths, psychopaths, and lunatics with very, very tiny self-esteems in order to do shit. Okay. And when I say tiny, I mean tiny.
Maybe they can screen grab this one. This is my thoughts on Greg Bovino.
Okay. We can put little Greg Bovino in our pockets. And this is why he is terrorizing women and children, tackling women on the ground, strutting around Target and Walmart. What a loser this guy is.
Yeah.
He's just such a loser. But it's ginning everything up. Of course, Minnesota is a theater. Right. And they want you. We know what they want. This is a psyop. They want civil war. They want violence, so they can justify this everywhere. So that's what we have to fight against. So we're going to get to that in a moment.
Okay.
But I do want to talk very briefly about Trump and Davos, WEF. Brett, he admitted, let's just roll the tape. He admitted finally, I think what he's always wanted to admit, that he's a
Mhm.
dictator. All right. I would say
Yeah.
he's a wannabe dictator because there's nothing impressive about him, but he is a petty dictator. And he finally took the mask off. Annie, go ahead and roll that video, if you will, and then we'll get Brett's response.
We had a good speech. We got great reviews. I can't believe it. We got good reviews in that speech. Usually they say he's a horrible dictator type person. I'm a dictator.
No, no, keep going, Annie, because he didn't say, he said, I am a dictator. And sometimes you need a dictator to get the job done. And Brett Miller, conservative constitutionalists across America are
Yeah.
cheering him on. Your thoughts?
I mean, when he gave a speech during his presidency about a snake, and he was telling you that he was
Mm,
a snake. And I just want to say, I threw up that hand sign, but Christ is king,
yes.
and you can read the Bible. And where Davos, Switzerland is, that's the mountain where Antipas was martyred. And that's
Oh,
also where like CERN is, and where the World Economic Forum is, and where the
mm,
UN headquarters are. And that's where Satan dwelleth until he's released back at the mount where Antipas was martyred. And that's all in Switzerland. So there's no coincidence that the Satan worshiping creep techno lords and pedophiles from around the world are all
crazy.
meeting to have some little, group. And what's the reports? The most prostitution, the most drug abuse happens in Davos this week. I mean, the whole thing is
Horrifying.
disgusting. And I think it's really funny. I saw a picture of the Palantir headquarters, which is also there, coincidentally. And
How convenient.
they had armed guards surrounding the whole thing. So this massive techno surveillance state that's going to control you are terrified of you. They are frightened of you. They fear God. They fear Jesus
Mm,
Christ, and they will cower when you invoke the name of Christ in
there
front
we
of them
go.
because they're all demons. And I just want to say that Donald Trump is 100% a crook. He is not an American. He is not a United States citizen. He is a dual citizen. He has attributed his loyalty to the nation state of Israel. And
Wow.
just to go to where like this ICE thing, I don't know if people know, the reports are coming out. They're trained by the IDF. They are
Yeah.
trained mercenaries. So Donald Trump is sending paid agitators to dress up like Nazis who are trained by Israeli defense forces in order to shoot Americans in the face. Now, I don't know Renee Good. I never know Renee Good, and honestly, I heard that she's a lesbian, and that's an abomination in the eyes of God. But I'm not the judge. God is the judge. So I don't necessarily agree with even her lifestyle. But that doesn't mean she has to be shot in the face,
Of course not. Of
not shot in the
course
face,
not.
and not through the side window, and not by someone who's in a mask, without a badge, without an ID, without anything, and without any repercussion. We can just go and shoot people in the face now. And now we have videos of them coming out. They're just going to kick in your door, come into your garage. They're going to shoot you, pepper spray you, mace you, hit you, throw you, tackle you, disappear you. And then we're just going to call it justice. That's justice. That's
Mm,
American justice. The American judicial system under Pam Bondi has become a disgrace. It's become a Gestapo, a pedophile hiding group of
yeah.
Satanists. And I don't know, there's a reverend that I listen to, and he just went through the statistics, and over 90% of Congress have committed felonies. And I just want the American people to know that 99.9% of Congress are all multimillionaires, and about
Mm,
70 plus percent of them are worth hundreds of millions of dollars on paper. So, how much are you worth, citizen? When they're coming to kick in your door, when they're coming to turn off your power, when they're threatening you because you said something that they don't like, because all of a sudden the First Amendment doesn't exist in the United States of America anymore for some reason under
right.
Donald Trump. I
Right.
mean, I just think America needs to just say no. We just need to say no. Do not comply with tyranny. There are way more of us than there are of them. And frankly, what they're doing is illegal. I all
Mm,
supported Donald Trump to remove illegal, Tren de Agua, MS-13 face tattoos. My friend Michael Yon reported from a Walmart and a Target in Texas where they were housing, using Border Patrol. How he has it on video, housing illegal immigrants. Has any ICE agent or any agency gone to that Walmart or Target? No. In fact, what they do is they tackle 17-year-olds who are on the Target payroll at their job. So he has a job, but he's illegal. So who's the problem? I mean, what's the problem? Like, there's no consistency, and it's all coercion. And right now, I think we're in the final throes of a dying empire. And the only way this country is going to hold itself together is if you, the American citizen, get right with God, get right with your family, and get right with your community, and bring it all together. Because when they come to kick down your door, comrade, you're going to have to face the truth. And the truth is that those who live by the sword died by the sword.
That's Brett Miller. Rand Paul just had this to tweet. No, great stuff. Rand Paul just had this to tweet in the 1,000-page minibus that they're trying to ram through in Congress. $5 billion has been carved out for refugee, support. And Donald Trump has already talked about importing hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of foreign workers into the U.S. So they're not even trying. This is not an America first operation.
Not at all.
Nope. To your point, you mentioned a couple of things there. First and foremost, that target worker was determined to be a United States citizen. So he
had his passport on him.
Yeah, he was beaten, he was detained, and then he was dropped off at a Walmart hours later. There are reports of many of these detainees. They are detaining American citizens and legal immigrants for hours and hours. God knows what they're doing to them. And they are dropping them off in forests and parks. Okay, so this is just completely outrageous. We do have, let's take a look at the first video, because this is getting really, really terrifying. And this is coming off of a story yesterday from AP and Fox. There's an internal ICE memo now, Brett, that is confirming agents are now authorized to forcibly enter private residence using only administrative warrants signed by immigration officials and not judges. Okay, here, let's look at the video. This is one example of that. They are terrorizing children. They are terrorizing women and children. Annie, if you can pull up that video of ICE terrorizing the mother and seizing her children.
Please, just don't. Please, just.
Volume, please.
Oh my God, my kids are in the house, you guys, please. My kids, my 2 kids and myself, please. And my son, please.
Step out.
You guys, please, you guys are scaring my kids. My kids.
Bring your kids out with you.
Okay.
Call your kids now.
I will, please.
Let's go.
Oh, here, my kids. Oh God, you guys don't do this to my kids.
Come here.
My kids. Come on. Oh my God, my kids. My kids are so young. Oh my God. You guys, my kids.
Go to the left. Go to your mom.
Volume, Annie.
Come on. Oh my God, you guys are crazy. Oh my God. You guys.
I never do. We have an issue.
Oh my God. Why? My son is a citizen. We're citizens. My son is a citizen. We have paperwork. We have all the paperwork.
I can't. All right, that is absolutely horrifying.
Look, Stalin did that, Mao did that, Hitler did that, Pol Pot did that. They do that in China under communism right now. They'll snatch and grab you and disappear you. I mean, these are all fascism tactics that have been used by the same, Bolshevik communists for years. This is nothing new. These are just, they can put a different label on it. You can dress some midget up in a trench coat and shave his head like Joseph Goebbels or whatever, or Hitler, or whatever you want to do. But the point is, this is communist tactics to take away your freedoms, to harass you in your own home. You, American citizen, have rights that are given to you by God, not by Trump, not by some pedo, not by a guy that's been accused of rape for 14 times. He's been accused of rape of underage kids 14 times. How many times have I been accused of it? How many times has your husband been accused of it? Ask yourself, citizen, how many times have you been accused of it? How many times? Because it's appalling that we have elected the most disgusting, bottom-feeding traitors to our government. And I'll be honest, I'm going to say this out loud. And you know what? I really love this man, but I'm so disappointed in General Flynn. Where is General Flynn? You were on stage calling out that Fauci be accountable. Mayorkas, Comey, Brennan, Clapper, Walensky, Garland, Blinken, Mayorkas, how about all the people? How about any COVID criminal? You know, and just to give you what General Flynn was on stage promising, promised mine to my face. I met the guy. I know the man. He worked with my uncle. Where are you, sir? Where is any of these leaders who helped to usher in this antichrist beast system, this murderous, you know, traitor? Where are you guys? What are you doing? Where are you? Why are you not standing up saying, hey, he lied to me too? Because if he didn't lie to you, then you're in on it. But anyway, I don't want to point out, I just want to finish with the Rand Paul part. Rand Paul, we all saw Rand Paul grandstanding with Fauci, right? He was going to arrest Fauci. He lied to Congress. He did all that. Where you at, Rand Paul? What happened to that? Guy could just lie to Congress and walk away. By the way, just so you know, all of Congress received an exemption from the vaccine 9 months prior to them sitting there quietly, forcing you and your family to take it. So if you have someone that was injured by the vaccine, you should probably call Rand Paul because he knew. He knew 9 months before forcing you, just like Thomas Massie did too. So I don't think there's a single good person in our government. I think the United States people need to wake up and realize that you are alone. So you need to, you have God, hopefully, but you need to organize your community. You need to buy some generators. You need to get some ammo. You need to bolt the door. You need to, Annie, get your gun because the communists and the terrorists are coming to your town and they want to hurt you.
Well, I think a lot of the resistance can happen. I mean, they're going to try to deploy this, whether or not they're going to be able to mirror this in other cities across America, especially as I applaud, I hate to say it, all of the liberal, pink-haired people who are out there documenting with their cameras and resisting this. I applaud you. And
never thought we'd support the blue hairs, but here we are.
Right? They're doing, and if I were in Minnesota, I would be standing with them as well. I would be documenting, and I would probably be arrested. So if they come to New York State, then we're gonna have.
They're gonna arrest everybody. They'll
try. They'll try. That's
they're
for
gonna
sure.
try.
That's for sure. Now.
Sorry,
let's go to you mentioned Operation Warp Speed and you mentioned Rand Paul. It was very interesting yesterday in a Q&A after Donald Trump's speech in Davos, Switzerland, that he finally acknowledged the other aspect of Operation Warp Speed and the lockdowns and the shutdowns of 2020 that we have been pushing out and we've been mocked and ridiculed for the past 3 years. The fact that it was indeed a military operation, that a military bioweapon was deployed and is continuing to be deployed against the American people today. 5.5 million children, Brett, have been injected in just the past year under the leadership of Donald Trump and Robert Kennedy Jr. This was stated by Dr. Mary Talley Bowden yesterday with the COVID-19 bioweapon. And Donald Trump yesterday in Davos, once again, for his handlers over at Pfizer and in the biomedical industrial complex, has quadrupled down on Operation Warp Speed being his greatest accomplishment and admitting that it was a military operation. Annie, go ahead and run that tape.
So it began. And we ended up with the COVID and the whole world suffered. We did a phenomenal job. I don't think we got the credit we deserved. We did something that Operation Warp Speed, which some people say was one of the greatest military feats ever. We did a great job. Used our military, used a lot of people.
He said it.
Whoops.
He said it. He's one of the greatest military feats ever. They poisoned the entire population, deployed a bioweapon, used coercion, government force, and wide-scale mass propaganda, censorship, and surveillance to deploy that. Donald Trump created the bioweapon through Operation Warp Speed and handed it to Joe Biden, who then took that football and distributed it and forced so many Americans into accepting that shot. Unbelievable. But right there, you see the uniparty. You can see how seamlessly they work together. Your thoughts?
Well, I wanted to talk to my dad about it, but he was murdered in the hospital with remdesivir, put down like a dog. So I'm not able to do that under Operation Warp Speed. I can't talk to my dad anymore because they killed him. They also gave my best friend, a Navy pilot, a heart attack. I have that video on. He was at the gym. Oh, sorry, a stroke. He was at the gym, so I have that video. And then they also gave my best friend heart problems. Who, he's a father, husband, father of 3, and now he has permanent heart problems. VAERS reports that they murdered 3.4 or 3.5 million people, and VAERS also admits that they're only 1% of the actual reporting, and that 99% of the reporting doesn't happen. So I think what the American people need to really wake up and realize, in this whole MAGA cult and these obese drunkard influencers that are out there talking about 6D chess and how they got the inside baseball, baloney sandwich. Okay, Donald Trump is bragging to your face that the military killed you and your family, that they ruined your business, that they had the largest transfer of wealth in the history of the earth to a handful of homosexual technocrats. So I just want you to know that Donald
Joy's
Trump
gonna
is
drop those things in
bragging.
there.
I'm just saying, I just want to be clear. I just want everyone to know the truth. I'm so tired of the lies. I'm tired of people getting lied to, because I don't think people realize that Donald Trump is not your friend. He does not want you to live. Donald Trump does not want your family to survive. He hates you. And just like Congress does. And I wish I was wrong. I was there at the things. I saw Donald Trump. I was 3 rows back listening to him after we were doing the Reawaken tour. I was giving out satellite phones to all these influencers. We're handing out gear. We're putting together phone lists. We're going to stop this tyranny under Biden. We're going to do it. And all those same people are now telling me that they know something I don't know, and that all the murder that I'm watching I should just shut up because I didn't get the memo from the Department of Defense. Well, turns out that they probably did, because it's a military operation. So
They are
let's just
playing
be
with
clear.
fire. Yeah, they are playing with fire on this. They are playing with fire with this petty dictator who admits he's a dictator and now admits that he purposefully deployed a bioweapon, which we all know killed and injured millions of Americans. And he is proud of it. And
and let's talk about Pam Bondi real quick.
Okay?
Pam Bondi. Sorry to interrupt. I just want to add, Pam Bondi is still, that memo came out today. Pam Bondi is still being paid by Pfizer. Still today, she's being paid by Pfizer.
Wow.
Okay? Just FYI. So this lady who is up there like, we're not tolerating any kind of shut up, lady. Just shut up. Okay.
Wow.
You're just a sellout. They're a soulless administration. And, look at Kristi Noem. I mean, she's really doing a great job. She only laundered $200 million to herself so she can buy big cowboy hats and play dress up while she paints her face with makeup and then kills people on the street, harasses citizens. There's not a single American in this entire administration. And you, the American, the people that are actually listening to intelligent women and intelligent leaders like Shannon, know that it's true. In the bottom of your heart, you may want to believe that there's still an America First agenda, and that, all these people they really care about you. They don't care about you. And you can read it in the Bible. We are entering the throes of Mystery Babylon. We are the dying regime that we have spread our abominations across the world. And it's time to get right, get some gear, and get ready, because it is rolling downhill.
Well, and preparation is the name of the game. We'll talk a little bit about that with Brett Miller when we come back. I have a couple more videos for you guys. Horrifying. ICE dragging a veteran, a female Marine Corps veteran, United States citizen, out of her car viciously. We have video of that. And so we're going to continue and we're going to look at, the Constitution. These are clear. Again, I posted out on Twitter about this. ICE is now conducting warrantless house raids. They're terrifying women and children, as you guys just saw. And some of you there on the live chat, I see you on Rumble, and you don't believe that the video that I just played for you is real. You think it's not a body cam. Of course, the woman in the garage turned on her phone to document what was happening. So no, it wasn't a body cam. Maybe it was fake. I don't think that it is. I looked at it. It has not been labeled as fake. I found the context of this. We don't know the name of the woman yet, but it has not been determined to be fake in any way. The last time I checked on it, even if it is, they have the memo. I mean, they look at the content of the memo and what they are trying to push out now. They are conducting warrantless searches of people's homes, period. And that is a violation of the Fourth and Fifth Amendments of the Constitution of the United States of America. That's it. So I think we should read that one. We should read them when we get back, so that you guys, because we don't need to go through Sean Hannity's circular logic, twisting himself into a pretzel to figure out how they're going to justify this. Okay. This is is illegal. This is immoral. This is outrageous. And it is a violation of the Constitution of the United States of America, period. And just because your guy is doing it and he has the R behind his name does not make it right. This is basic, people. We'll be back in a moment to talk about this and more right here on the Shannon Joy Show. I can't tell you how many Americans are now not trusting their food supply and our United States healthcare food system, because as you know, there are so many toxins that are being deployed through our food supply. And this is why so many Americans are now eating like their health depends on it. And that's because most disease does not start in your genes. It actually starts in your kitchen and in your gut. Our food supply has been hijacked. That's just the truth. From Roundup poison to mRNA animal injections, Big Ag and Big Pharma have strategically synced up to get people stuck on a subliminal medical loop. And the wellness company, they're no longer accepting a system where the health industry ignores food and the food industry ignores health. They have to work together. Meet Wellness Farms, a new way to fuel your body from a trusted brand who puts people before profits. So here we go. Hand-selected USA small farmed beef boxes, where the beef goes from a pasture to a butcher, flash frozen, and then right to your door. Think old school meets modernized convenience from the wellness company. It is the purest. So mRNA and vaccine-free, grass-fed, grass-finished cattle raised on regenerative American farms, which is amazing. And these are family farms. And the animals are cared for in a way that restores the soil, protects ecosystems, and produces nutrient-dense meat how nature intended. Each box is unique, and it has unique cuts broken down by mineral and gut health focuses. No antibiotics, no hormones, just clean, honest, regeneratively raised food. We are thankful for, we do got the meats. We're so thankful for the wellness company and their support. Make sure that you always use the promo code MARY for any of your other purchases. But for today, make sure that you use Mary Farms to get $85 off your first beef box. I can't wait to try mine at 123.com/joy. Everything that you're going to need for preparation: generators, solar panels, Faraday products. If you want to disappear and protect yourself from the surveillance state, they have an entire line of amazing Faraday products called dark bags. They're always 10% off at the satellite phone store if you go to sat123.com/joy. That is sat123.com/joy. The satellite phone store has supported the Shannon Joy Show for many years. They are amazing partners, and let's help the companies that help keep the lights on here at the Shannon Joy Show. So if you are in the market for any of their products or services, make sure you use that promo code JOY and go to sat123.com/joy. That's sat123.com/joy. Welcome back, everyone, to the Shannon Joy Show. We're going to be bringing Brett Miller back on in just a minute, but I do want to say hello to all of our live chatters on Rumble, and we have a couple live chatters on Substack as well. Welcome, Substackers. So glad you guys are with us today and engaging. I see you, big dog, on Substack. DHS is hoping ICE will get people, they're hoping that ICE will get people to shoot at them. And then that way Trump can invoke the Insurrection Act to turn America into a police state and confiscate guns. And I think that that makes a whole lot of sense. This is why I'm praying for everyone in Minnesota. I am praying for all of the protesters in Minnesota. I'm praying that they remain peaceful and that that doesn't happen, because I agree with you, big dog. I think that could be the moment that Trump can truly become the dictator he desperately wants to be here in the United States of America. And if they declare the Insurrection Act, we've also heard rhetoric from this administration, and it's been applauded by the yappers and conservative media, that they should take over elections, cancel elections, suspend elections, take them over. There was also rhetoric from Donald Trump talking in Davos about extending his presidency, like a forever presidency. So these are very, very real and dangerous precedents that are being set. We also have Ollie on Substack about Rand Paul. Rand Paul was a gatekeeper steering people away from the truth during COVID. I agree 100%. It was siloed rhetoric. The only person he would talk about was Anthony Fauci, when we know that Anthony Fauci was just a figurehead, a spokesperson. This was a military operation. And if Rand Paul were honest, he would tell his people and his constituents the truth. But no, he repeats the talking points everyone in the direction of Fauci and the deadly virus that was created in Wuhan, when he knows that a lot of those experiments were happening in the United States of America, in the interior of the United States of America, and were also military operations. So come on, Rand Paul. Come on, Rand Paul. We're not that dumb. You can't fool us anymore. I appreciate all of you on Substack, those of you who are supporting the Shannon Joy Show, and I'm loving the live chat on Rumble as well. I see you, Candy TV. Great to see you on the live chat. Again, if you are new on the live chat on Rumble, say hello. I want to say hello to you. We're so thankful for Rumble, by the way. And Rumble has been an amazing partner with the Shannon Joy Show. They have helped this show to grow. They've helped us monetize, and we so appreciate them. And they have a brand new feature on Rumble. It's called Rumble Wallet. And I want to encourage you guys to check it out. I actually downloaded the Rumble Wallet to my phone. You know that we're moving into really crazy times. Governments and institutions can cancel your accounts, freeze your cards. They can shut you down. And this is why, of course, financial independence matters more than ever. Mary Talley Bowden, Naomi Wolf, some of the regular contributors on the Shannon Joy Show had their bank accounts attacked and their credit cards attacked. So this is why you have to think about protecting your finances. And Rumble Wallet is one way that you can do that. It is built for freedom. With Rumble Wallet, you control your money, not a bank, not a government, and not a tech company. You can buy digital assets like Tether, Tether Gold, and Bitcoin in one secure place. And you can even tip content creators like me with Bitcoin. Now, as you guys know, I don't have any Bitcoin. So if you feel like offloading your Bitcoin, because a lot of people are, feel free to send it to me. I would love to have it. You can do it with Rumble Wallet. No permissions, no middlemen, no cancel button. And when you support the creators you actually believe in, you can use the Rumble Wallet app to, as I mentioned, directly tip us. So this is a way for you to protect your future, your family. And when the system fails, when institutions turn on their own people, which we're talking with Brett Miller about today, financial sovereignty is the difference between security and vulnerability. So Rumble Wallet isn't about politics or politicians or the left or the right. It's about you, and it's about freedom. So download that Rumble Wallet today and step away from the big banks forever. True ownership, to true protection, and true financial freedom. So let's get back to Brett Miller. He is a regular contributor on the Shannon Joy Show, and we have been talking about the illegal actions in Minnesota. And now we're going to talk a little bit about preparation. I do want to run this video because this is outrageous, and I want to talk a little bit about this this Greg Bovino character, because you know a little bit about him, the guy who's strutting around like a peacock, acting like a Nazi, dressing like a Nazi, and terrorizing the general population of Minnesota. This happened just a day ago. A citizen, a Marine Corps veteran, a woman, was viciously dragged out of her car. Annie, go ahead and roll this tape, because I want people to understand what's happening in Minnesota, because we have to oppose it. So go ahead, Annie, with this one.
Do not break my fucking window.
You guys got into that John is looking at is a black.
Get out of the fucking car. Get out of the car. Put the car in park. Get out of the car. Put the car in park. Get out of the car. Get out of the car.
Virginia, TBN.
You know I'm a Marine Corps veteran.
I don't care what you are. You fucking move, I'll fucking tase you. Get the fuck out of the car right now. Get the fuck out of the car, please.
They yanked me out by my neck. They threw me to the ground. They stomped on me. They pushed my face into the ground. They put the cuffs on as tight as possible, to the point where it took 6 agents to try to get them off.
What let you talk about the the local law enforcement working with the federal government to kind of funnel you in? What was the lead up when they get out of their vehicles, presumably, or were they
didn't get out. They drove their vehicle towards mine until I surrounded mine.
Okay, so they surround yours, and then they come up, they break.
And then the cops went into a parking lot. They pulled off to the side, and they watched the DHS and Homeland Security and whoever else it was assault me. And they listened to me scream for help.
Like, what I'm trying to get to is, like, did they say anything to you before they broke the window, or was it immediate?
No, it was immediate.
Immediately broke.
They said, get out of the fucking car, or we're taking you.
Had they stopped you at all before that? Had you had any reason to believe that you were about to be targeted before that?
They put their lights on, but they don't have any jurisdiction. As women, we're told to go to a well-lit area where we can make sure that we're safe and we're not going to be attacked by armed thugs. So we were trying to comply with what we've been taught our entire lives as women.
All right, a Marine Corps veteran, a female, and doing exactly the right thing. I've often thought about this as a woman, Brett Miller, pulled over by men in masks, not showing their faces, not showing their credentials, not police officers or even members of the United States military. These are enforcers of the U.S. government. They do not have jurisdiction. And that's a really frightening thing for a woman. And Mark the Regan, this is not fake. I think there are a lot of fake things out there, but I think that these videos, my arrest at a school board meeting wasn't fake. It really happened, guys. I wasn't a crisis actor. I was in the board meeting. They hauled me out, stuffed and cuffed me, threw me into a cop car. That was all very real. So there are real things that are happening in Minnesota that are outrageous, Mark the Regan, and she's absolutely whatever. Brett Miller, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, that's illegal. What you just witnessed was against the law and against the Constitution. So they're not police. They are masked terrorists, masked mercenaries trained by a foreign military to harass and detain, snatch, grab, disappear, and abuse you before they dump you back on the street or no one sees you again. And if you don't listen, then they shoot you in the side of the face and they explode your face all over the sidewalk. And then for 8 minutes while you're dying on the street, they don't allow any medical services to come and get you. What's happening right now is a terrorist attack on the United States people, on United States citizens, on Americans. This is an assault on our Constitution. This is an assault on its people. And at the core of this is a terrified group of elite pedophiles who are doing anything they possibly can to hide the fact that it's all of them. Right. Every single one of them is involved in some form of treason, some sort of murder, some sort of crime against humanity, against a child, against something, okay? Yeah. And to the point of your reader, I just want to say, your listener who posted that, they're absolutely 100% guaranteed. Write this down, bookmark it. There will be a shooting against ICE sometime soon, and it won't be by an American citizen. It will be by another member of another foreign intelligence group that pulled some, crazy MK Ultra kid out of somewhere, and they shoot at the officer. So to your point, they can bring in the reason for them to not just show up and arrest you, to show up and kill you in your house where you stand. That's the goal.
Yeah. And this is an important caveat because, yes, there are crisis actors. I do believe that crisis actors are being deployed. I do believe that Minnesota is a theater, but there are also citizens there. There are real people who live in that theater, who are this woman. A lot of them are documenting, they're protesting. They're just like you and me, and they're getting caught up in the crosshairs of this theater. I called it earlier color revolution, a psychological operation and a military operation. And so to the point that you mentioned, Mark the Reagan, not believing this is real, I think that this video is actually absolutely real. I think the video from the woman in the garage is absolutely real. what's happening with Antifa being deployed to Minnesota, with the Black Panthers being deployed to Minnesota, I think that those groups have historically been rife with crisis actors or military personnel, people trained for these types of things. Again, the goal is to deploy violence and gin up a quote, civil war. And I really get frustrated with my conservative constitutional counterparts, my colleagues, who keep ginning up this word civil war. They have been using, and I'm talking to you, Steve Deace, because you've been using the word civil war for the past 2 years. And every time you use it, I cringe because I know exactly how that word is going to be used. We have to resist that. And that means we have to get over the divisions that we have with people who are traditionally on the left or Democrats and traditionally on the right. Like most Democrats who vote for Kamala are not these people. And most Republicans who might have voted for Trump are not those people, right? Like, we are in the crosshairs. We are the civilians. We're in the crosshairs. And I'm going to leave it with that. Fourth and Fifth Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, I'm just going to read the text of these amendments so that we can remember this. And then Brett will talk about preparation because it's very important.
Yes.
What we are seeing, whether or not those videos are real, we know that it is happening. We know that the illegal detentions are happening. We know the words of the memo that was distributed to ICE agents, which is now empowering them to enter civilians' homes without warrants. Okay? Search and seizure. This is the text of the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution of the United States of America. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, house, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause of the commitment of a crime, okay? Supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the person or thing to be seized. They are in complete violation, blatant violation. The Fifth Amendment reads this, covers 5 main protections, okay? The requirement of a grand jury indictment for serious federal crimes, the prohibition of double jeopardy, protection against self-incrimination, and guarantee of due process of law in federal cases, and a requirement that private property not be taken for public use without just compensation. I think taking children, taking people would probably qualify as the taking of private property, among other things, due process law or due process being completely violated here. I do not care what conservatives say about this. This is outrageous. I don't care that they're purple-haired liberal Democrat voters. I don't care if they're lesbians. I don't care if they're homosexuals. Okay? People have a right to protest. They have a right to document what these agents are doing. We're also looking at First Amendment violations where they are acting as citizen journalists and they are documenting what ICE agents are doing, and they're being harassed and beaten and arrested for that unduly. Okay, so this does not matter how you voted. And I'm sure that every one of you would have said that about the J6 protesters that were illegally arrested and detained in the DC Gitmo. So come on, Brett, I'll give you a last comment and then we'll talk about preparation.
Yeah, well, last comment is 2 words, helter skelter. This was an idea that, the Beatles were a CIA op, that John Lennon was a
I didn't know
op,
that.
that Charlie Manson worked for the CIA. That's how he was trained in mind control using,
What?
that's why Charlie Manson never took the actual drugs. He just gave them to his followers. But what Charlie Manson was, when he was working for the CIA, what they came up with was helter skelter, which is the ultimate civil war. It's the ultimate race war. It's the way that the elites can divide a nation who was coming together by using groups like Black Panthers or using spokesmen like MLKs and using people to divide, right? Using Hitler-esque short guys to run around to make it look like, there's this giant divide between the whites and the blacks, or the this and the that, or the Mexicans and the whatever, the Spanish. I mean, they've been constantly trying to divide people all over the earth since the dawn of since the beginning, right? Every entity has been trying to divide every government agency, every leader, every king, every pharaoh, every president. So helter skelter, look it up. Go do some research, history for everybody. You can look up what the CIA and Charlie Manson were talking about. And then just recently, I mean, Obama just put out the movie Civil War, where the white dictator is sending out his Nazi regime, and then the
Yep.
African Americans have to go and fight these evil white men. I mean, that was Obama's, and Michelle Obama clearly hates the flag. She said it, like, all this over a stupid flag. I mean, she hates white
Right.
people. She'll never shop at a white store. So I mean,
Oh,
the people
my.
that are, she just said that the other day on Twitter. You can go look it up. So, this is a CIA operation. This is a deep state operation. And if you think that there's a difference between a Republican and Democrat, then the operation is working on you.
It's
You
true.
are foolish if you think that there's anything other than evil that's trying to
Yeah.
hurt good, because that's at the end
Absolutely.
of the day. So the only thing that everyone should do is what we're about to talk about, which is preparation, which is
Yeah.
getting yourself ready, getting your soul ready, getting right with God, getting your family right with God, training on first aid, getting water filters, getting getting solar generators, getting first aid kits, getting satellite phones, bivy sticks, bug out bags. Download our app, satnews123.com, and we're going to send you the emergency alerts and tell you what's going on. And we're going to feature influential news sources that actually tell you the truth. We're not going to feature all these nonsense people that you see on every other platform. The word of the day is preparedness. The word of the year is you and God, or the words of the year are you and
Yeah.
God. It is
Right.
discernment, and you have to decide what you see and what you need to do to prepare yourself, whether it's this giant ice storm coming through next weekend, or whether it's ice coming through your town to start shooting at you, whether it's another pandemic that Bill Gates and Fauci and that other little fat guy with the mustache keep talking about, that, is definitely coming. Pandemic 2 is right around the corner, or if it's the World Economic Forum, or if it's JD Vance, who's been totally paid by Palantir to implement a giant surveillance state that the ICE agents are already using to facially recognize protesters or journalists on the street, so that they can then go to their house and trap them later. What people have to realize is that this is an all-out attack on the last bastion of freedom in the world, the last stand for a free, God-fearing, God-loving people that can enjoy their life, can prosper, can move forward, can work and worship in the name of God. Because the devil has been given his toll. The devil is organized, he's gathering his masses, and he's coming after you, and he's going to
Yeah.
use any kind of delusion, deceiving, or anything to distract
Yeah.
you from it. So
Yeah,
yeah,
Brett Miller, it's a tale as old as time. There
it
is
sure is.
nothing new under the sun. And
Right.
throughout history, 5,000 years of human history, people who
That's right.
had their heads on straight, who were observant, who were paying attention, looking for patterns and preparing, these are the people who will come through these very tumultuous times. And I do believe
That's
we're
right.
living in incredibly historic times. I would agree with you. This is the time when people might want to find God for sure, and also begin to prepare. Now
Yeah.
there's a major storm. It is interesting, a big ice
Right.
storm coming. It's
Ice.
barreling
Ice.
towards the south. And I mean, everyone's freaking out about it. It
Yep.
might come, it might not. Now, I remember the ice storm of 1996.
Okay.
I think it was. And in New York State, we lost power for a full week. And I
Yep.
remember all the children went to one house that had a generator, and I don't even know what my parents did that week. I mean, they were at home taking care of this or that or whatever. And it was like the best week of our lives. We had a ball. But
That's
again,
great.
there was a generator in the house,
Yeah.
and this amazing family was able to take in all the children. So if you want to be that family to take in all the children when the power goes out,
That's it.
generators are a great idea. And
That's awesome.
in all seriousness, people can. I mean, it gets dangerous when you have these massive storms barreling towards us.
Yeah.
I still haven't gotten my generator, Brett. I'm
What?
like
Oh
really
my
bad.
goodness.
I
I'm
know.
embarrassed.
I'm that girl. I
Right.
talk about
I
preparation all the time.
know.
I'm like everyone but I'm going to.
I'm gonna have to make
I'm
a phone
talking.
call and just send you
Yeah.
one or something.
Yes. Well, I was waiting. I don't know which one. Talk to the audience about the generators at sat123.com.
Yeah.
Make sure you use /joy, because
Yes.
you'll get 10% off, and then they'll also know that we sent you.
Look,
So I didn't
oh,
get back to Jennifer because I didn't know you've got some different options there.
I do.
And so for a girl with a 2,000 square foot house in upstate New York who might lose power for a day or two or three, like what would you
Yeah.
recommend? And we can help educate the audience on that too.
Yeah. So, We offer a lot of the different solar generators. EcoFlow is a great company that we work with. And,
Okay.
I have the 400, EcoFlow 400. So that'll run my refrigerator for about 2 days. It'll run my house on cycle, on and off, whenever. But it's solar powered, right? So I can always
Okay.
just put the panel outside, run the cord through the window, insulate it, and then now I have my generator inside. Plugging, I can plug all my devices into it. You have to consider in a storm, you might not necessarily need a generator to run your whole house because you're going to isolate into one room. I mean, I
Right.
remember I just watched Ted Cruz get on a plane and fly out to Laguna Beach, which means Texas is probably going to get hit with some sort of storm because
Oh,
every
shit.
last time that Ted Cruz took off out of town, Texas got hit with an ice storm. So Texas, if you're paying attention, you need to get ready because your dude just bolted to Laguna Beach.
You're
So you're
due.
on your own. I just want to let you know about that. But
Okay,
yeah, so,
shit.
in an emergency, but to be serious, to bring it back, you're not going to run everything all day. We're not going to be as wasteful, which we probably shouldn't be more as wasteful. We
True.
should probably be more mindful of the power that we do use on a daily basis. But you have to think about, electric blankets if it's cold, heaters, refrigerators if it's hot, if you're in some sort of, drought situation, or even, if you have your refrigerators inside, keeping it closed, cycling it, a little bit here just to keep the freezing things frozen and the cool things
Yeah.
cool. But, hot water heaters, right? You're not going to have hot water. You're not going to have toilets that flush. Okay. So if the power goes out, these are the things that you have to think about. You're not going to have running water to brush your teeth or to boil your coffee. But if you have a solar generator, you can charge up that electric toothbrush. You can turn on that hot water heater and get yourself a little, draw yourself even just a foot soak or put a warm cloth on you. I mean, if
Right.
someone's fighting an illness at the same time in your family that you are out of power, now you're in the 1800s and you'll be
Yeah.
back in the 1800s because if you can't get a hold of anyone or the roads are closed or you don't have any power, the doctor's not coming to your house via horse and carriage anymore. Okay. You're on your own. So this is what we try to do without scaring people. I want to prepare people. I want you to wake up tomorrow morning, everybody, and I want you to write down your morning routine for you and your children. And then I want you to turn all the power off the next morning and wake up and use all those things without the power that you need. So if you make a phone call, you don't have a cell tower. If you boil your hot water for your coffee, you don't have the hot water boiler, right? You don't
Yeah.
have your tea maker. So you do that. And if you do that, because now you know what it's going to be like in an emergency when you wake up, because most likely it's going to happen in the middle of the night while you're sound asleep, because that's just how these things coincidentally happen. But
Yeah.
you'll wake up the
Yep.
next morning and you'll be in a situation where you no longer have those, luxuries that we've been so used to
Right.
living with. So,
Well, you can also
yeah, go ahead.
you can be a blessing to your neighbors as well.
Absolutely.
We
And
gotta
that,
go. We gotta go in about a
oh,
minute. So I want to make sure we're
yeah, let me just
wrapping
wrap
up
it up
here.
real quick.
But I do want to answer this question because Max Glitman says, "Well, in New York State, we don't have any sun. So what do you do with the solar generator if you don't have any sun?"
Well, New York State would have sun if they would stop spraying. So you need to talk to
Yeah.
your local
Okay.
representatives and
All
stop
right.
that
All
cloud
right.
seeding. But
All right.
here's what you do. We have other generators. There are other generators. The problem with the different generators is that you need power. And New York State does get sunshine. I have friends up in New York State that actually
Yeah.
they grow up, work in agriculture. But I would say work together. Work with
Yeah.
your community. Yeah.
Well, and the solar generator gathers the sun. Like once you install it, it's gathering the sun, and then it's like on a full charge. And then when you need to turn the generator on, then
Yeah,
then
it will
that
charge
hits it.
with ambient light too if
Yeah.
it's reflective off the sun or something like that. Like it
Right.
will charge. It just won't be as efficient as if it were
Yeah.
direct sunlight. Is
Yeah.
the answer to that question.
Well, they have everything that you need, and again, 10% off.
Right.
And some of those generators are like full scale generators. I mean, they're
Yeah,
not
they're awesome.
cheap. So if you use the promo code JOY, you'll get, 10% off could be substantial
Wow.
savings. So make sure you go, and they have everything: the solar panels, the
That's right.
generators, the Faraday bags, everything that you need to prepare. We're really thankful for the sponsorship here at the SJ Show. We've been with the Satellite Phone Store for almost 2 years. So appreciate you guys. Brett Miller, thank you so much for everything that you do. Sat123.com/joy. That's sat123.com/joy. Last comments. We'll give you a minute and then we'll head out of here.
Christ is king, God is everything, and you can do this, citizen. You're getting the information from someone like Shannon, so I already know that you have a brain on your shoulders. What Shannon posted the other day went viral, millions of views all over the world. She's breaking information left and right. So, and she's not bought and paid for like all the other clowns that you listen to. So use your discernment, prepare your soul, prepare your family, prepare your household to be alone, and then just say your prayers, and here we go. Let's do it. 2026. We're gonna make it.
Do
I
it.
swear.
2026. It's gonna be a roller coaster, but we can do it.
Gonna be
Damn
crazy.
it, we're gonna have fun while we're doing it too, Brett
We
Miller.
will.
All right. Yeah, no, crying in our cereal bowl and
That's
sticking our
right.
head in the sand. Like, we're gonna face this
Nope.
full on.
There's no crying in baseball.
That's right. We appreciate you, Brett Miller. And
Thank you, Shannon. God bless you.
All right. You have a great day. Stat123.com/joy and use that promo code joy. Candy TV. I wish I had a wood stove. Oh, I would die for a wood stove. I want to do it. I want to install one. You guys are amazing. PG Glenny, we'll talk about my viral post tomorrow. I am self-producing the SJ show. It is Friday. So make sure you join me at same time tomorrow, and we'll talk about all of your questions and the news of the week. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Thank you, Annie, for producing the show today. We'll be back tomorrow to do it all again right here on the Shannon Joy Show.